Cleveland Browns play-by-play announcer Nathan warned the NFL about Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. And ESPN Cleveland, Tony Rizzo, set the record straight when it came to the quarterback position of the Cleveland Browns. We getting ready to talk about it right here on Sports Talk with B. Watts. You got to do me a favor. You got to do me a solid. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Hit that notification button. It'll let you know whenever I go live or drop a video. And if you would like to support the broadcast going forward, you can Cash App, Super Chat, or just simply join the membership. Join the membership. Anything that you do will be highly appreciated. Let's get this party started. Once again, Happy New Year to you. I got a question. Do the Cleveland Browns, should they keep Andrew Berry as the GM for next year? Simple yes or no. Do you want the Cleveland Browns to keep their general manager, Andrew Berry, next year? Put it in the chat. Let me know. And let's get this party started. Let's go. Through it all, I made it through another day's journey. One more day, y'all. That's them Williams brothers, boy. Y'all don't know nothing about that. That's that gospel music. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about that. I had to share so many burdens. That's what Shedeur telling y'all. Shedeur said, I had to share so many burdens, but I'm still here.
The score here would be huge. The score here would be tremendous.
Trying to add to a field goal on the first series. Sanders looking down the field to Fannin. He caught it, and he rolls in untouched.
Go! That was nice.
What they say on Instagram caption, they wrote me off, but I wrote back.
I never wrote back.
The Cleveland Browns radio personality, play-by-play guy, Nathan, man, he set the record straight. He warned the NFL and he's warning the Cleveland Browns about Shedeur Sanders. He's looking at Shedeur Sanders' growth as a starting quarterback in the NFL and as a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Nathan was on 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. Man, he said he liked what this dude is doing. For only Shedeur to have 6 weeks with the first team offense, man, Shedeur out there doing his thing. He looking real good compared to other quarterbacks that was drafted in the same draft with him. He looking better than them. You got to remember, Shedeur Sanders is playing with a makeshift offensive line. Don't even have a number one wide receiver in Jerry Jeudy. He don't. And when you look at the play calling, Shedeur Sanders got all the odds going up against him, and he's still going out there performing at a high level. Now, he don't throw some interceptions, and you can expect that for a rookie. But imagine if Shedeur had all the number one reps that they gave to Dylan Gabriel during the offseason and had that same starting offensive line that Joe Flacco had, that Dylan Gabriel had. Shedeur Sanders would have had the Cleveland Browns in position to win their division. To win their division. That lets me know that Andrew Berry got a lot to work with. Yeah, he got a lot of work to do this upcoming season. Next year in 2026. Listen before I share the video of Nathan. The Cleveland Browns can't afford to enter 2026 pretending that minor moves will fix major problems. This season exposed much bigger issues that go far beyond bad luck and injuries. The mistake has been repeated. The discipline has been non-existent, and the lack of clarity at key positions, especially at the left tackle position and the wide receiver position, have held this team back for too much. They don't hold them back. So when you look at this upcoming season, they got to identify a number one wide receiver. They got to identify a number one wide receiver because the Cleveland Browns truly need a number one wide receiver. The Browns did not have a clear number one wide receiver, and that problem has become impossible to ignore. Jerry Jeudy showed flashes during a promising 2024 season, but he failed to establish himself as a true number one wide receiver. He hasn't been consistent, dropping passes. He's not reliable, and that has been an issue. Jerry Jeudy has been among the top leaders in drop this season and struggled to hold on to the ball. Leadership on the field, on the sideline, causing commotion with a rookie quarterback with Shedeur Sanders. That's not showing leadership. That's what Andrew Berry task gonna have to be going into this offseason. Fix the offensive line and find a number one wide receiver. Let's listen to the play-by-play of the Cleveland radio guy, Nathan.
Where, like, specifically within his game, have you seen the most development from Shedeur in the last 6 games?
There's actually quite a few things. Number one, we're not seeing him try to escape out of the back of the pocket and take those bad sacks and run away. I think that he is much calmer in the pocket. He's standing tall in the pocket. He's climbing the pocket and making plays from there. And he's also shown to be significantly more elusive and better at extending plays than I think we saw earlier on. Certainly he had success when he's run the ball. He's done a good job on third downs. And then I think he's recognizing what he's seeing quicker. And that goes back to the one to Jerry Jeudy. That was a big play for me. It doesn't look like much to the stats. I think it was maybe a 13-yard gain. But that was one where it said, okay, they're showing single high. They rotate out of it into 2 high, and he knows that, okay, this is where I'm going to attack this cover 2 defense. This is where the hole is, and makes a good anticipatory throw to the middle. We always knew we could get it down the field. I think he's doing a better job anticipating in the intermediate game, and then I think he's doing a much better job of being willing to just take his check downs and keep the ball and make positive plays rather than trying to hold it and make the home run play every time. So I think there's a lot of things, areas where he's improved, and things that kind of say to me that with more time, with more reps, with more experience, he's only going to get better, because when he sees it clearly, and go back to that Tillman play, when he sees it clearly and he's got his feet set and he can stand there and deliver the football, his ball placement is superb. I mean, you could not have put that ball on a tee better to Cedric Tillman.
That's the Cleveland Browns radio personality, play-by-play guy, Nathan, talking about Shedeur Sanders and his development, what he have seen in Shedeur so far. Now, there are some key things that Shedeur going to have to work on, but he's still a rookie. And we know that. He didn't get the proper training during training camp with this current coaching staff. They didn't see Shedeur as a starting quarterback. They saw him as a developmental quarterback, and we don't see how that turned out. No way Dylan Gabriel should have been picked ahead of Shedeur Sanders. And they should have noticed that what set the Cleveland Browns back so far. And they didn't identify the problems on the offensive side of the ball, like the offensive line and the wide receiver. They got to fix that. They must fix that going into the next year with Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is preparing for his last game of the year this coming Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals. He get a chance to go 1-on-1 with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. He don't went 1-on-1 with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, and we seen how Shedeur stood up in that paint. He just went 1-on-1 with Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Shedeur looked better at quarterbacking than a future Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers. Only thing Shedeur need is a organization to commit to him. The Cleveland Browns must commit to Shedeur Sanders this coming year. Let him get the reps in training camp. Let Shedeur get the reps in preseason. Don't be trying to fool nobody. Cleveland Browns. You can't try to fool your own Cleveland media, even though we know they messy. Don't fool your fan base. Don't fool the team itself. Let them know that Shedeur is our QB1, and we're going to stand behind him all the way. We're going to give him everything that he needs to do to see if he is our future quarterback. Because there is some rumors out there. There is some rumors out there that the Cleveland Browns is stalling for one more year because they really want Arch Manning, who's going to come out next year. That's word on the street, what the owner really want. They going to try to get Shedeur one more year. And if that don't going to work, they're going to go for Arch Manning when he get ready to come out. I'm just trying to tell you what the street is talking about, because the streets are watching. Oh, they watching. Let's listen to ESPN Cleveland, Tony Rizzo, talking about the same thing. They got to commit to a quarterback. Tony Rizzo.
If we want to see Shedeur Sanders be his best, you got to commit to him. You got to get coaches that are going to coach him up. You got to get an offense that he's comfortable in, and you got to have a whole offseason committed to him coming to training camp to try and not only win the job, be the QB1. There has to be a commitment. You can't just throw guys out there. Let's try this guy. Let's try that guy. That's what the Browns are doing. That's why Andrew Berry's got to go. So find one guy and commit to him. And I'm going to say this, even though I think you could do it with Sanders, if you think there's a quarterback in this draft you want to do that, fine, but commit to the guy.
That's Tony Rizzo of ESPN Cleveland talking about the commitment of the Cleveland Browns to a quarterback. There's no doubt in my mind that Shedeur Sanders is a franchise quarterback. He just needs a team to commit to him. Andrew Berry must fix that offensive line and find Shedeur a go-to guy. Ain't it kind of strange when you sit back and think about it? The Cleveland Browns could have fixed their problem during last year's draft. They had an opportunity to draft Travis Hunter, a two-way player. They could have had a number one wide receiver and a number one defensive back. And then they could have still had Shedeur Sanders at quarterback. Let that sink in to you. Once again, you're watching Sports Talk. We'll be wise. Do me a favor. Do me a solid. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. And hit that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live or drop a video. I got a live show tonight. It's going to be hot. It's going to be really hot. A lot of people going to tune in and they're going to watch the replay. Uncle Steve is my special guest. Well, he's not my special guest. He's the co-host of Sports Talk with B. Watts. I'm telling you, Tuesday night broadcast always be a hit with Uncle Steve on the stage, along with the number one chat room in the comment section on YouTube. Sports Talk with B. Watts is the place to be tonight. I invite you to come on over and rock with us if you don't mind. All right? All right. Until later on, peace.
What do you remember about your draft?
We weren't going to be broke no more. That was it. We weren't going to be broke no more. And my mother would not have to work another day of her life, and life would never be the same. That's what I remember. But I wanted to be the greatest. It wasn't about the money. It was about being the greatest and being dominant. Because when you're the greatest and you're dominant and you perfect your craft, the money's going to find you. You don't ever have to chase money when you perfect your craft. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to clap right there. Yeah.
Visit